Nice little red belly on them.
Oh, yes! Woohoo! Ah, woohoo! Look at this trout.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Rob here. So it's myself, my two dogs, Goose and Millie, as usual. It's the May 24th long weekend and we are heading into the backcountry. Finally getting out on a multi-day trip here. So I got all my gear in my backpack. I'm going to be spending 2 nights and 3 days out here just kind of exploring around. I've got a route in mind that's going to take us on a big loop where we're going to hit 3 or 4, maybe even 5 different trout fishing ponds. So trout fishing season just opened here in Newfoundland yesterday, so I'm hoping to get into some decent trout fishing on this trip. But if nothing else, we're going to be just getting out, spending some time out in the bush. So looking forward to it. Hope you guys stay tuned. Should be a good one. Whew, I'm huffing and puffing already here, guys. So this is the first real backpacking trip I've been on now since last year sometime. So I'm not used to walking with the heavy pack on. So I got to get back in shape. Anyways, we got a good hour or so before we get to the first pond. I don't know exactly where I'm going to camp tonight, but I got a couple places in mind, so we'll just see where we end up, see how the day goes. Yeah, going to try and pick up the pace here now and make some time, make some ground. Hopefully we'll be fishing here within the next hour or two. Alright guys, we're almost up to the first pond here, so I'm going to make my way out here. It's kind of windy, but make my way out to the shore right here, put my fishing gear together and have the first couple of casts of the season. Woo! Oh man, I am definitely... Goose, get down! Damn. I'm definitely feeling the weight of that backpack. Stop here for a little rest now, do some fishing. Oh, she's breezy here. I have to get my sweater on. We got a cold wind today, northwesterly wind. It's only about 8-9 degrees Celsius. All right, first cast of the season. Trout fishing 2025. Wish me luck. Oh, just had a small one chase my spinner right in by the shore. Good sign, at least there's something here. So no luck at this first spot. Like I said, the conditions aren't great here. That northwesterly wind is blowing right at us. So I'm gonna keep on heading in the trail. I'm gonna hike my way back to the pond where I think we're gonna camp tonight. So hopefully we'll be a little more sheltered from the wind, and the fishing should be a little bit better. Fingers crossed. Anyways, let's carry on in the trail. Let's go, Goose. Come on here. Good boy. Alright guys, so getting into the afternoon here now. We've been going for a few hours, so just stopped here for a break. So what? Dogs are not tired yet anyways. Still full of piss and vinegar. Yeah, I just fished out here in this little steady out from where I'm sitting right now. Had a couple bites. There's a couple little small trout, like 5-6 inches, followed my hook in, but seem to be more curious about the spinner than they are hungry, so they weren't really biting. Anyways, I'm gonna boil the kettle, I think, have a little break. So if you guys watched a few videos back, I was in this spot right here, and I mentioned that I'd be coming back here during fishing season. It's a good little spot to camp here in this spruce forest. So it's pretty sheltered from the wind, and there's quite a bit of dry, dead standing wood around. So I may end up coming back here tonight to camp, set up my camp. But right now I'm just gonna boil the kettle, have a little lunch, and then I'm gonna fish for the afternoon. So I'll take all my gear with me. This little steady out here, it leads, there's a brook up at the end that leads out to another pond. It's not that far away. So I'm gonna fish my way around this little steady and fish up the brook out into the next pond. I'll have all my gear with me, so if I want to set up camp, if I find a good spot up at the next pond, I'll set up my camp there and just stay there for tonight. Or if not, I can always make my way back right here and set up my tent right here in this little spruce stand here. So I brought my little twig stove on this trip for exactly this reason. Like right now I'm just stopped for a quick lunch. I don't want to get a full-on campfire going right now, so we just put this thing together, get a few dry limbs off one of these spruce trees, and within 5 minutes I got the kettle boiled, and I can just let it burn out, douse a little bit of water on it, pack it back up in my bag, and we're good to go. Whoa, all right, we're back out on the move. I'll fish my way up along this little brook now, so I don't fall in first. I'm getting a scatter bite, but they just kind of seem to be playing with it, not really smacking it like I would like them to. Well, I guess we'll call this the first trout of the season. Just a small guy. Definitely be throwing this one back. Hopefully there's something bigger out there than this. We're on the board though. Oh, haha. All right. That one's a little better. Woohoo! Nothing huge, but at least Nice little pan-sized trout. Oh, yeah, look at that. Nice little red belly on them. Anyways, I'm not going to be keeping any, not yet. Maybe later the weekend I might keep a couple to cook on the fire, but for now I'm just going to be releasing anything that I get. Beautiful little fish though. So I've just been using this little silver spinner right here, for anyone who's wondering. All right, we're back on the move. I'm across this little bog now, and I'm out up at that next little pond that the brook flows out of. I have a few tries up there for an hour or so, and then we'll be looking for a spot to set up our camp. Crazy how dry everything is for this early in the year. Only in what is it, May 16th or 17th, something like that. And there's already been a bunch of forest fires in Newfoundland and Labrador, which is crazy. Some years we have snow on the ground still at this time of year here in this part of the island, but this year the snow was gone early and we haven't had a ton of rain, so everything is dry. Just crossing these bogs, I can notice that it's a lot drier than normal for this time of year. Here, come on. So we made it up to the pond, so this is going to be as far as I'm going to go in this direction on this trip. So now I have a decision to make. There's a little camp set up here. I don't know who put this here, but I was here last year, and I'm pretty sure there's people that are in here on snowmobiles in the winter time. They get a little camp set up here, but as you can tell, this wood, I mean, this was cut several years ago. And I was here last year, I believe around the first week of June. I did an overnighter right here, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is like the exact same piece of wood and everything that I left here when I left to walk out from that trip. So I don't think anybody's been here in a full year. I could be wrong, but anyways, I'll have to go back and look at that video. But I think everything looks exactly how I left it when I was here a year ago. So not a whole lot of people using this spot, obviously, but anyways, I got a decision to make now. I can either camp here for tonight and spend another night here. I got a little fire pit and stuff already here, so that's the benefit of staying in this spot. But the downfall of staying here is we're on the south side of this pond, and the wind is coming from the north right at this camp. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Sorry guys, the camera died on me there. But anyways, as I was explaining, I was trying to decide where I was going to camp tonight. Ultimately, I'm back on the move here, as you can tell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to backtrack my way back down to the brook where I caught those couple of trout, because I fished the pond here behind me and didn't have any luck. So at least down by that brook I caught a couple of trout, nothing major, but at least I know there's probably a better chance of fishing success down in the brook. So as I was fishing my way up along earlier, I noticed what looked to be a under this tree here. I noticed what looked to be a cool little spot on the opposite side of the brook that I could possibly pitch up my tent. So it's hard to tell because it was on the other side of the brook, so I couldn't get a good look at it. But anyways, what I'm trying to say here is I'm gonna backtrack back down to the brook, back down to that little steady, basically where I boiled the kettle for lunch. And I'm gonna go around the steady and come up on the other side of the brook, and hopefully that little spot that I saw will be suitable for me to pitch up the tent and it's right on the brook, so it'll be a cool little spot, I think, to stay the night. Won't be able to have a campfire, but I'll be able to fish pretty much right from the tent, so I think it'll be a cool little spot to spend the night. And like I said, I have the twig stove, so I can use that to boil some water and cook up my supper. Whew, beautiful day, boys, beautiful day. So I got a trail camera way over there, right across this big bog, and it's actually in the opposite direction that I'm trying to get to here now. So I'm trying to decide if I got enough energy to hike over there and have a quick peek at the memory card on the trail camera or not, because I don't know when I'm going to be back in this area again. Yeah, what the hell, still early, still got lots of time, so I think we'll hike over there and check the camera real quick. All right, Goose, we're going this way, bud. Let's go, come on. Good boy. So this northwesterly wind is it's pretty chilly, and it's probably not doing me any favors when it comes to catching trout. But what it is doing is it's keeping the flies away. So I haven't seen a single fly, not a mosquito or a black fly or a horse fly, nothing. So that's the upside to the weather. And yeah, it's a beautiful day to be hiking, so not too warm, nice cool breeze. The wind is supposed to drop out tonight, later this evening, and tomorrow is supposed to be a warmer day, quite a bit warmer. So hopefully, if it warms up and some flies do come around, hopefully the trout fishing will pick up a little bit. So I just put this camera out here last week, so I'm not expecting much footage on it, but it seems I'm in the area, I might as well give her a quick check. Just looks like a bunch of false triggers. The wind must have been setting it off. No wildlife. Almost back to the brook. Still gotta walk around that steady that's up ahead here. I gotta come up around on the other side of this brook right here. I'm gonna end up actually back up this way somewhere. Oh man, not gonna lie, starting to feel fatigue setting in here. So a lot of steps today with the heavy backpack on. And yeah, my legs and shoulders are starting to feel it. But within the next hour, we should be setting up camp somewhere. Whew. All right, I'm on the north side of the brook now, so this is where I'm going to try to set up. I think this is the spot I was looking at. Some otter shit right by where I was going to set the tent up. But yeah, this looks like a decent little spot here, right by the brook. I can fish right from camp. Yeah, shouldn't be any trouble to find a spot to set up my little two-man tent here. Oh. All right, guys, so we're on the north side of the brook now. Much more sheltered here. I think the wind's starting to drop out a little bit as well. So this is going to be home for the night. This is the spot I was eyeballing from across the brook this morning. Yeah, I think this would be a pretty cool little spot to camp out for the night, right alongside the river or the brook. I could fish right from camp. Probably gonna have some beaver and otter action overnight tonight, so hopefully it won't keep us awake or anything, but we'll see how it goes. There's a ton of beaver and otter sign along the bank here. Anyways, we'll see what happens with that, but yeah, gonna have a little rest, catch my breath, and then gotta get my camp set up. Come here, Goosey, let me get that pack off you, bud. Take Goose's pack off. He's had this on now since 9 o'clock this morning. So he's got all the dog food in here for both dogs for 3 days. So not a crazy amount of weight, but definitely some weight to it. There's a few pounds in there. Let me get that off you there, bud. Millie, You're not helping the situation here. There we go. Good boy. Now, Millie, let's see if we can get you some food, eh? That's what you're waiting for, isn't it? Starved to death, aren't you? So just lighting the twig stove now. I got my camp set up. I'm not gonna have supper quite yet, but I'm gonna boil some water because I haven't had any water today, other than right before I left to come out here. And I'm starting to get pretty thirsty. So I brought a water filter with me on this trip, but because of all the beaver and otter activity in this little brook right here, I'm kind of paranoid even using the water filter, to be honest. So I'm gonna boil my water. They say the most effective way to disinfect water is to bring it to a rolling boil for a minute or two. So that's what I'm gonna do. Well guys, just getting ready to make some supper now. So for anyone who's wondering, the food that I bring on trips like this, like I said, I'm trying to go as lightweight as possible. So this is everything I have for the weekend. I just got some hot chocolate and coffee here, some packets of oatmeal, a bunch of different bars, protein bars, Snickers bar. I got 4 of these little packets of electrolyte powder. I'll mix some of that in with my water just for some extra electrolytes. And for my main meals, I'm going with these Ready Wise dehydrated or freeze-dried meals from Canadian Tire. So these are not my favorite brand, but these are the only ones that I can buy locally. So just went in and grabbed 3 of these for the weekend. So we got strawberry granola. I'll probably have this one for breakfast in the morning. For supper tonight, I think I'm gonna have this pasta Alfredo, and then tomorrow night will be chili mac. Millie's giving me her paw trying to bum some food. You can't have this, Millie. You already had your supper by. You already had yours. Good girl. No, not for you. Shaping up to be a beautiful evening, boys. Not going to complain about the view from the tent tonight. Old Goose is not ready to give up yet. she's a chilly one. Oh man, it was cold last night. Everything's covered in frost out there this morning. Beautiful morning though. Yeah, I got pretty chilly a couple times overnight, especially my feet. My feet were froze. But anyways, hopefully now once that sun gets up a little higher, start to warm up a little bit. So as soon as just before dark last night, I took a little video clip of the beaver swimming just out in front of the tent here, and there's actually at least 2, maybe even more, beavers going back and forth there right before dark, and I could hear them. They were on the go all night. I could hear them splashing and slapping their tails on the water and stuff. So yeah, it was an interesting night, but not too bad overall, I guess. Anyways, I'm gonna get the nerve to get up out of the sleeping bag here now in a minute and get the day started. Get the old twig stove going, boil up some water for some coffee, and eventually we'll pack up camp and get on the move. I'll go see. We're back on the move. So probably take us about a half an hour or so to get to the next pond. I don't know if I'm going to fish that one much or not, but we'll see when we get there. Yeah, beautiful morning. It already feels warmer than it did all day yesterday. It's only about 9:30 or so right now. So I'm hoping that northwesterly wind doesn't kick up again today. Hopefully it'll be a little warmer. Here. Let's go. There's some more ducks up ahead there in the brook. This is going to be a great spot for duck hunting in the fall. So I lost count yesterday and this morning of how many ducks I saw fly right by the tent. So they're coming down that brook where we camped on, and they're flying right down through there, right past where I had the tent. So it'll be a perfect spot to set up and just wait. So we'll be back here in the fall, definitely. Whew. All right, we're almost up to the next pond there. Just stopped at this little spot. This used to be a little pool that you could fish. You could hook into a couple of trout here usually, but the water's really low. It looks like there must not be an active beaver here, because beaver used to dam it off right there, and the water used to be a lot higher. So it's not really enough water there now to hold any trout. Only about a foot of water, so they're at most. So I got a new pair of boots for this trip. These are Dunlops. So I was about a year going around cycling back and forth between 2 old pairs of rubber boots that both had holes in them where the rubber cracked. So I've been meaning to get a new pair of boots for pretty much a full year, going around with wet feet in the woods all the time. I finally went out and got these Dunlops a couple days ago, and they're super comfortable so far. I'm loving them. Really comfortable on the feet, and They weren't cheap. They were pretty much 300 bucks Canadian, so pretty expensive, but I'm hoping that these are going to hold up, because the last few pairs of rubber boots I had, I was lucky to get a year out of them, and the rubber, I don't know, I guess it dries out and cracks or something. So anyways, fingers crossed, I'm gonna get my money's worth out of these. The rubber seems to be pretty soft on them, so I'm thinking they should avoid cracking pretty good. Whew, just had to stop for a little break, throw the pack down for a minute. I'm gonna have a few flicks out in the pond here now in a second, but this is an old winter camping site of mine. I spent a few nights here in the canvas tent, I think it was 2 years ago, and had the tent set up right up here in the woods. Did some ice fishing. All my leftover firewood is still there, and the poles that I had used to set up my tent in the wood stove is all still there, just like I left it. Haven't been touched. Yeah, nice little spot here looking out over the pond. And there's trout in this pond, I know that for sure. So I got some trout on that winter camping video, I think. Anyways, when I'm editing the video here, I'll try to remember to put a link for that winter camping video up on the screen there if anyone wants to check that out. It was a pretty good little trip. Nice day. Trout are scarce though so far. Well boys, not good. Just about 15 minutes after I filmed that little clip about my new boots, look what happened. For a big old rip right through the neoprene part of the boot. I was just stepping over a windfall, and there was I guess a sharp limb on it, and went right through the neoprene. $300 pair of boots gone. Man, I just cannot catch a break when it comes to rubber boots. Anyways, I don't know if there's any chance they'll take them back or what, but I literally bought these the day before I came out. And now I'm gonna end up getting my feet soaked on the rest of this trip, because that hole is fairly far down on the boot, just above the rubber part. Oh my. So I put up a video there last year looking for recommendations on boots, and a lot of people were recommending mucks, and I'm pretty sure I had a look at a couple of pairs of mucks, and they also had the neoprene side on them. So I don't know, I guess the neoprene is just not going to work for me, because if it can't hold up to any more wear and tear than that, then it's no good to me, because I'm always out beating through the bush like this. And like I said, second day I had them on, tore the neoprene right out of them. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Anyways, nothing we can do about it now. Just got to carry on. Just when I thought the feeling of cold, wet feet when I'm out on trips was behind me for a little while, I guess we're back to it again for the rest of this trip. Alright, so we made it to the pond where I'm going to camp tonight. But the place I want to fish this pond is basically directly across the pond from where I'm going to set up my camp. So I'm going to bushwhack my way around the pond first, get over to the fishing spot, spend the afternoon there. It's just after lunch now. So I'll spend the afternoon over there fishing. Hopes are pretty low here because I haven't had a bite all day. But yeah, I'm gonna head over there, fish for the afternoon, and you know, eventually around supper time I'll bushwhack my way back around, set up camp. So I'm on this old game trail here now, following this as far as I can around the pond. Whew, out of breath, all uphill. Oh my, we're into some tangly old stuff here now. So with the way the fishing's been going, this is probably not worth the effort that I'm putting in here, but we're already committed to it now, so I'm gonna keep going. Trying to bushwhack with a fishing rod that's put together like this is not probably not a smart idea either. Get snarled up in every little limb that it touches. Yeah, I think we're back on a bit of a game trail again now. All right, we got the worst of that over with. I'm gonna go up on this little point out here, that little rock, almost like a little island. I'm gonna fish off that, spend the afternoon there, and then eventually we're gonna have the bushwhack right back around over that way on the far shore, all the way down, straight down here on the opposite side for our camp. Whew. All right, we made it. Just had to go over my rubbers a little bit to get past that spot right there, but I got a hole in them anyway, so what's the difference? There's a bit of a sketchy spot here. One, two, Millie. Oh my. Here, Goose, let me take that off you. Give you a little rest by. Come here. There we go. Atta boy. Well, it's an absolutely beautiful afternoon, even though there's no trout. Just having a little drink of water now. Poor old Millie there's rolled off in the bushes, passed out solid. Goose is not giving in. No surprise there though. Anyways, a few flies getting on the go, so who knows? Maybe this afternoon the trout will start biting. Hopes are pretty low, but gotta keep a positive attitude, right? Anyways, I'm just gonna relax here on this little island, and I'll do a bit of fishing, just kick back and relax, probably boil the kettle here shortly, have a lunch, and just enjoy the afternoon. Like I said, in a few hours now I'll be bushwhacking my way back through that maze of windfalls that I just came through. Not looking forward to that, but it's got to be done. And then we're going to end up pretty much right across from where we're at right now. Set up our camp over there for the night. Goose's head is covered in black flies there now. Goose, you're getting eaten alive by. You gonna make it, Millie? Have a rest, my dear. We gotta get back on the move here now at once. I got half them on to crawl in there with Millie now and have a nap. Goose is the only one who's not tired. Once again, we got some idiots who were couldn't have been bothered to take their garbage out with them. A broken glass bottle there. Goose almost stepped on it. Luckily he didn't, and he didn't slice his paw open, but I'll never wrap my head around this one. Can carry it in when it's full, but couldn't be bothered to put it back in their bag and carry it back out again. You know, I gotta pick that up now so one of the dogs don't end up stepping on it. Look at that. Oh, good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Come on. Alright guys, it's been a pretty slow afternoon here. Not really complaining. It's nice and relaxing. I've just been sitting on this rock. Boiled the kettle, had a lunch, just sipping on some coffee, listening to some tunes, doing a bit of fishing. So the wind completely changed direction. It's coming out of the south now. The flies are out in full force, but it didn't seem to improve the fishing any. About 10 minutes ago I was just sitting here and I saw a trout come to the surface right out in front of us. And it was just kind of, it looked like a decent sized trout too. it was just swirling around on the surface. So I jumped up, grabbed my rod, threw the spinner with a nice fresh worm right out on top of it, and didn't touch it, didn't even make an offer at it. So yeah, obviously the trout are not feeding, they're not liking that spinner and worm. I'm after trying like 7 or 8 different spinners and stuff, a couple of lures, and nothing. I haven't had a bite. I don't think I've had a bite all day. So the fishing is just not happening today. Like I said, nice afternoon out here, just relaxing and enjoying the day, living in the moment, enjoying the simple life. Nice and quiet. Haven't seen or heard a soul out here. Scattered plane flying over, but other than that, it's been pretty much dead quiet. All right, guys, back on the move, on our way to make camp. So just thinking that this morning when I first put this backpack on, I was like, geez, this is not too bad. Feels pretty light this morning. Like 8-9 hours later, feels about 100 pounds heavier. So legs are starting to get tired, starting to get beat out here. But anyways, within the next hour or so, we'll be done moving for the day. Whoo! All right, here we are, home for the night. There's our camp. We had a little fire pit down here somewhere, I think, from last year, which will come in handy tonight. Yeah, there we go. Nice little spot here looking out over the pond. Well, like a moose has been here. Whew. Oh, can't wait to get this friggin' backpack off now for the day. Well, camp number 2 pretty much set up. So the wind kicked up since we left to walk over to this side of the pond. It's blowing pretty good there now. We got a good breeze that's coming right in off the water, right at our camp, unfortunately. So it took care of the flies, that's one good thing, but it is kind of chilly. But it's also good for drying out my clothes. So I had some wet clothes this morning. I didn't get it on camera. I wish I did, because it probably would have been pretty funny to watch. But as I was packing up my camp, I went to walk down to the brook to rinse out my pot, and I had my little camp slippers still on my feet. I guess the ground was a little bit slick, so when I got down at the edge of the bank, my 2 feet slipped right out from under me. I fell flat on my ass, and my feet ended up going right down in the water, went right up to my knees. So I soaked my feet, my slippers, my socks, and my pants. And like I said, I was just about to leave and start hiking for the day, so I just had to wring out my clothes and jam it down the backpack. So we got a good little breeze here now. Hopefully that stuff will dry out before tonight. But yeah, I think I'll put the fishing rod together again, and there's a little point out right here where I caught some trout before, so I think I might put the rod together, have one less crack at the trouting for the day. I'll just hike down through the woods here and get out on that rock right there, have a few casts, pass away another hour or so, and then we'll be coming back to camp, getting squared away for the evening. I don't know if I'll light an actual campfire, or if I'll just continue to use the twig stove like I've been doing all trip so far. It is pretty breezy, but it'd be nice to have a little fire. Nothing. Not even a bite. Well guys, I just had a bite. Had a little trout there. He followed the spinner in. He had a couple little goes at it, but he didn't take it. So then cast it back out. He didn't come back. So like I said earlier, they're just not feeding. You know, they're not too interested in the worm. So I think I'm gonna give this up for the day. I just noticed Goose there, he got a little bit of a limp on one of his front paws, one of his front legs. So I probably should quit while I'm ahead here, head back to camp and just rest, let the dogs rest and rest myself, because we still got a decent little hike to get back out of here tomorrow. So I don't want Goose to hurt that paw any worse than what he got done there now. I don't think it's anything serious, but like I said, I don't want him to make it any worse. So the old food bag's getting pretty low here now. Just got a couple of bars left, a couple of packs of oatmeal, and my one meal for supper tonight. So I'm having a chili mac tonight. Not sure if I had this one before or not. I think I did, but don't remember for sure. Anyways, I'm friggin' starving, so I'm sure it's gonna taste good. So just waiting for the water to boil now. Gonna have something to eat, and I got a feeling it's gonna be an early night. I'm friggin' exhausted. So before I cut my firewood, I was just kind of laying back on the ground here on my little foam sit pad thingy. Two dogs were laying beside me, and I was starting to doze off, so decided to get up, cut a little bit of firewood, get a small fire going. It's pretty windy, so I'm gonna have to keep this small and keep a close eye on it. As soon as I'm done cooking my meal and stuff, I'll douse it with water, make sure it's out, and then I'll probably be climbing into the tent and calling it an early night. So a bit of a disappointing day with the fishing, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Just grateful to be out here. I've been itching to get on a trip like this. Been counting down the days for the May 2-4 weekend, so grateful to be out. And I've never been one to let a bad day of fishing or hunting or anything ruin a trip for me. Like I said, I'm just glad to be out here. So just gonna relax now, enjoy the rest of the evening, eat my chili mac, and have an early night. Got some chaga coffee on the go here this morning. Never tried this before. I had a couple of chunks of chaga in my bag there, so just threw that in my coffee, and just gonna let it simmer there for a few minutes. Well, we're getting an early start here this morning. I think it's just after 6 o'clock. Woke up early this morning, so had a pretty good night. So night one was beavers that were out going around all night and making a racket. Last night was a couple of loons. I don't know what they were at out there in the pond, but geez, what a racket they were making. Must have been doing some kind of mating ritual or something, but they were doing these big long loon calls. they were at it for quite a while, so I didn't bother to turn the camera on, but man, what a racket they're making. Anyways, they're still out there now. 2 loons just out there swimming around. Pretty quiet this morning, but overnight last night they were putting the place up. But other than that, it was a nice quiet night. Had a pretty good sleep. So yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy the fire this morning. The wind dropped out. Last night was really windy, so after I boiled my water and ate supper, I put the fire out and just got in the tent. Had an early night, crawled into the sleeping bag like 8 o'clock or something. So yeah, this morning the wind has dropped out. It's a nice quiet morning, and I'm just gonna sit by the fire here now, have a couple of cups of coffee, and just kick back and relax, enjoy the morning. And then we're gonna pack up and keep going. So we're going out a different way than we came in, so we got one more pond to hit on the way out this morning that we haven't been to yet. So you never know, might catch a couple of trout in that one. It's not looking good for the trout fishing, but anyways, we're gonna stop there and try, and cross our fingers we might get a couple of trout to take out with us for a meal when we get home. Yeah, other than that, just gonna relax, enjoy the rest of the morning here. Alright guys, back on the move. So we got about probably half an hour or so of bushwhacking to do here. Eventually we're going to pick up another old trail, make our way up to another pond. Beautiful morning, probably 7-8 degrees Celsius. All right guys, we're at the last pond here. Just had a few flicks, no luck. I saw a nice trout come up to the surface though. I think it came up and grabbed the fly off the surface, but once again, not interested in my hook and worm. I was gonna fish this one a little bit, and if there's no luck after an hour or so, we'll be picking up the trail, heading her back out to the highway. All right guys, hooked one. Ah. Woohoo! All right, that's what we've been looking for all weekend. Finally managed to get one. Half decent little trout. There we go. All right, I'm gonna let this guy go. Okay, see if we can't get another one now. Hard old spot and land them here though. Yes. All right, 2 casts in that spot and 2 trout. That's a beauty. Oh yeah, look at that. I think I might have to keep this one. If I can get a couple more like that, it'd be enough for a meal. Woo-hoo-hoo. Literally every cast here now, boys, and another nice one too. Yes, sir. Ha ha. Yep, another one. Every cast, boys, every cast so far. This one's a smaller one again. I'm gonna throw this guy back. Oh, he jumped out of my hand. Well, boys, if I had known this, I would have been up in this pond yesterday. But that's fishing. I get a couple more of those nice ones now to keep for a meal. I'll be satisfied enough to call her a day and head on back out. Oh, nothing on that cast. It's the first cast in this spot that I didn't strike one. Right off this little rock here, you can see the trout coming up to the surface right there. Yep. Another bite. Missed that one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that feels like a good one. This feels like a good one if I can get him in. Oh yeah, he's fighting. Oh, he's right in those weeds. Oh, nice one. This is a good one, boys. This is a good one. Come on. Come in here. Oh yeah, that's a beauty. That's a beauty. Come on. Oh, yes. Woohoo! Woo! Oh boy, look at that. Yes, sir. Woohoo! Look at this trout. That's one of the bigger trout I've ever got in this pond. Woo! Oh man, what a nice big fat brook trout. Yes, sir. Oh man, after all weekend just getting skunked on the fishing, we finally struck into him. Well guys, what a great way to end off the trip here this morning. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. Still catching a scattered one out there. I got a few small ones and threw them back. But I got a meal here. I could probably get a few more if I wanted to stick around longer, but not going to be greedy. Just going to take these 3 beauties and I'm going to clean them up now. And then we're going to pack up the gear and head her on back out the trail, call it a trip. So I'm starting to get low on camera batteries, so I'm going to call the video here. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next adventure. Woo!